been walking beneath streetlights. I've been walking, cause I can't find peace on these nights. I've been walking, but my strides are getting slower. Still I'm walking, but I don't know where I'm going. I've been looking for love, but only found deception. Told my secrets to some people who have not kept them. Y'all ready for this? Yeah.
This is the Lisa Baxter Show, giving you the 411 and the kidney one. Not my girl, and say, this is. Nope. I'm hungry. What are you cooking? I thought this was a cookout. Where's the food? I see a whole lot of stuff going on over there, but you haven't passed the food yet. Where's the food? Come on. You know how I like to do. I mean, it's a little something. This might hold me over. I don't know. But I mean, where's the real food though? I ain't on no diet or nothing like that. I ain't got no restrictions going on. Where's the food? And who's these people you invited to the cookout? They ain't got no hold it. Hold it. They ain't got no mask on. Distancing. Distancing. Oh my God. I can't afford to get sick. Child, what time is it? I'm going inside because I don't know what time it is. I'm going inside, and that's it. Y'all have y'all fun out here. Keep it. These people, nobody got no mask on them. You didn't know it was a pandemic. You didn't know about COVID-19. You didn't see all the things that happen to people. Well, not on my watch. I'm going to talk to my girl. I'm going to see my girl. I'm going to watch my girl. What's her name? Lisa Baxter. What? Because this is the Lisa Baxter Show, giving you the 411 in the kidney world. Hey y'all, how y'all doing? Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers. Oh man, the godfathers, the blood fathers, the paternal fathers, all the fathers. All right, so thank you for what you do. Thank you for your contribution. Thank you for your love, your help, your protection. Whatever you did for your children and your family, we appreciate you and we thank you. All right, child, let's ride on in. Let's drive and cruise it on in. I got a fantabulous show for you tonight. A very bright, a very nice, and a very handsome young man. He ain't just a young man. He is a deputy sheriff. That's right. He attended Nassau Community College. He worked for the hostile takeover. Yes, he did. He's a dad. He's a father. He's a husband. He's a son. And he was an excellent, excellent caregiver. So I would like to welcome none other than Patrick Burno. Patrick William Burno, or William Patrick Burno. That's the way it really goes. Hey, Patrick. Welcome. Come on in, Patrick. That's right. Hey, welcome, Patrick. I was so glad that you came on the show, and I forget sometimes about the introduction because that's new that the guests get an introduction as well. So my phone is acting a little off, so that's why I didn't hear it. But I'm just glad to see you on the show. So we're gonna get the ball rolling. How you doing?
I'm going good. I'm going good. Thanks for having me.
Ah, I'm glad you're doing good. I'm glad you're doing good. Now, in your line of work in the law enforcement, tell
Mhm.
us what you do by being a deputy sheriff. That sounds just so important and everything. And we just got to know. Tell it. Tell it.
Well, I work in a department. It's called booking intake. So it's pretty much the first place a person goes after they get arrested. So
Mhm.
I'm responsible for all the paperwork, fingerprinting, taking pictures. It's really one of the most important departments to have because once that initial arrest and that person comes into the jail, a lot of that paperwork is depends on him leaving and having to get to court. So that's the department I'm in.
Okay, all right. So you deal with the person after they have been arrested. So you don't have to really get, I guess arrest them or handcuff them or drag them down. You get them after.
I get them after, yeah. I get them after. I'm the first
All right.
person.
Well, that's important too because let me tell you, I'm sure the person that's getting arrested is in a different state than one. I guess they get a chance to calm down or collect their thoughts by the time they get to you. At least we hope so because people have been dangerous no matter what or
Yeah,
act up no matter what. And I'm
yeah.
sure you have ran into something like that before.
Yeah. Yeah, well, most times after the person gets arrested and they might have had a problem with the officer, they might have been mad. I guess reality starts to set in, and like, hey, look, you're here now. Says so we can get you either home because sometimes when you get arrested, they you can get a bond, and we'll let you call your family so your family can bond you out. Or sometimes it's something called a PR bond, which is a personal recognizance bond, and that just means that they don't have to pay somebody to leave; they leave on their own. But once they're in there and the reality sets in, and we're like, hey, look, we're gonna take this calm and do everything we're supposed to do so we can get you out of here or we can get you upstairs into a cell.
Yeah.
Most times they calm down most times after that.
Have you ever had somebody that didn't calm down?
Yeah, yeah. You get a lot of drunk people, you get a lot of people that's high. So what we
Okay.
do is we take those same people and we just put them in a cell where they can't hurt themselves, hurt nobody else, so they can calm down and come back, start slowly coming back to reality and not be so high so much. So that's what we do when we get the combative people and the people who just want to fight, yell, and curse. And so we get those
Mhm.
type of.
Wow, wow. Well, that's a good strategy to have because because a lot of times when a person is high, they're not themselves. You know what I mean? And
I don't know.
sometimes that elevate their
Yeah,
attitude or something or make them just acting different.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that's good that you would put them somewhere that they won't hurt themselves, they
yeah,
won't hurt others, and they
yeah,
have a chance to think, pull it together a little something, something.
yeah, yeah, and then get your mind right and start to realize what's going on, and then we'll finish the process of doing everything that we need to do. But we need to make sure that you're okay and that you're not going to hurt yourself and you're not going to hurt nobody else. So you just calm down for a few minutes. We'll come back to you and then make sure you're all right.
Well, what made you come into this line of work or pick this line of work?
It's funny because one
I like.
um one Thanksgiving, my wife and I came down to Richmond, Virginia, to her mother's house for Thanksgiving,
Mhm.
and somehow she overheard somebody hiring. They said they were hiring at the sheriff's department. Now back then, I was nothing. I didn't want nothing to do with the law. I didn't want to be a cop. I didn't want to see a jail cell. I didn't want to do any of it. So
Yes.
she snuck and got the application, brought it back to New York, filled it out. The stuff that she couldn't find, the stuff she couldn't do with the 10-year job experiences and all that other stuff. She said, look, just try it, see what they say. They call you, they call you. If they don't, they don't. I said, yeah, them people ain't gonna call me. Whatever. I just did it so you leave me alone and just get off my back. I want to say we did it. We mailed it. A week later, they called and asked me if I had a clearer copy of my license. And I said,
Whoa.
oh, man, these people are going to hire me. I said,
Wow.
I'm moving to Virginia. These people are going to hire me. I didn't think they were going to be serious about me. Turns out
Wow. And
they
you
hired.
relocated. You were living in New York your whole life,
Yeah,
and then you went to a new place to live that you never been. So you relocated from New York to Virginia. How
yeah,
did you feel about that? Were you afraid or anything, or
yeah.
you loved the new adventure?
I mean, I was more afraid because all my family's in New York. You know, it's that's a big jump to start your life in a new state where you don't know anybody.
Yeah.
So first I was like, oh, I don't think this is gonna work. But it ended up being, instead of a job, it ended up being a career. Something I didn't have when I was in New York. I was working 2, 3 jobs just to make ends meet, just to try to survive. So
Yeah.
and end up being a good thing. And it's a good place to raise the kids. It's a good place to have a family. So it ended up working out.
Well, you look very settled and happy. I remember when we had the party when you were leaving and we were crying and happy and smiling and everything. We were glad it worked out, even though we might have been hoping that you came back.
Yeah,
And, I had
yeah,
to, tell the truth. Tell the truth and shame the devil. But I'm glad it worked out for you because you took a big step and you took a chance. A lot of times, young people or anybody don't really take a chance.
yeah,
At least you got to try. Even if you would have had to come back, at least you went, or at least you
yeah.
tried. So, we're proud of you with that. And even when I came out there, yeah, you have a beautiful house, a beautiful family. Everything was, copacetic. Everything was wonderful, fantabulous. So it worked for you. God
Yeah.
really blessed you in that area with this thing.
He definitely did. He definitely did. Definitely, it definitely worked out in a good sense of working out. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now you're a dad.
Yes.
Okay. You had beautiful destiny.
Thank you.
And you also been a caregiver. It's
Hmm.
not easy being a caregiver. I've been a caregiver 3 times in my family, and that's not an easy job, but you do what you have to do for the people that you love. And I love and respect that about you because you did such a fantabulous, great job with your mom,
Thank you. Thank you.
the whole family. Um, if you had to say anything to somebody that was the caregiver, what advice would you give, no matter who they're taking care of as a caregiver?
Well, first you have to really understand the situation that you're taking care of the person. For my case, my mother was diagnosed with vascular dementia. So that's the disease that messes with your brain and your short-term memory, your long-term memory. It's Alzheimer's and around. It's all in that same category. So I had to realize that this is not the lady that raised me. This is not the lady that took care of me for 42 years. I have to now realize that she's in a state of kind of like a kid. So you definitely got to have patience. You definitely can't look at that person the same way that you did 5 years ago because they're a totally different person. So
Mhm.
things that you expect, my things that I didn't expect my mom to do, I'm like, Mom, what are you doing? I can't understand it because she's in that state. So you have to really understand that person. You have to take time and be patient. You can't just rush and hurry up and do something because that person is not really understanding you. That person is not understanding what they're doing. They're just pretty
Right.
much they're just there. They're just pretty much there. So it got to the point where I actually had to clean my mom, and
Okay.
I know for a male doing that to his mom is like, whoa, like I can do a lot of things, but I can't do that. But if I didn't do it, she had nurses coming in and she had people to come help take care of her. But if I didn't do it, she would have just been,
Yeah. It would have been a mess.
it would have been a mess. So it was like, you know what, you got to get over that. You got to get past that.
Yeah.
You know what you're doing is to help your loved one, to help your friend, to help your sister, to help your brother. So you just got to get over how you feel, because it's not about you no more. It's about you trying to take care of that person, and you just got to do it. You just got to do it no
Yeah.
matter what.
Yeah. I had to lift up my mother-in-law, and I had to. My father wasn't having it. He was a very private person. He wasn't that easy to deal with, but a good man.
Mm-hmm.
But Lord have mercy, like you said, when a person is sick, sometimes you have to treat them in a whole different way. You got to do what works. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So dealing with that, with even with my mother, who didn't want to see anybody or let anybody see her in her condition. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And my husband had ended up getting like that too. You know what I mean? He didn't want to see anybody, and he was very private. I'm one of them open people, but they were
Mm-hmm.
private people. So you got to respect people's privacy. But my hat off to you, because a lot of times people shove their parents into a place and don't be bothered with them. Not even just shove them in a place. Some shove them in a place and don't visit. And some people having them in the house and still don't deal with them. You know what I mean? Sometimes you never forget that God says, well, where you want to put this hospital bed? I mean, why would I put it someplace else if that's my husband? You know what I'm saying? I said in the same room I'm in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I said that to say this, because being a caregiver is challenging, and you need your breaks and your rest.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you did everything, and you did a lot, and you had help with your parent, your wife, and everybody else. So that was a good thing. You've also had aunts and family that dealt with dialysis, godmother, aunts, and
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sure you ran into some sick people inside the jail system and the sheriff system thing. So can you tell me anything you know or learned about dialysis?
Um, most things that I've learned about dialysis or actually came from you in Chilanda, that it was like, it's a serious thing. Your kidneys is an organ that you really need to take care
Yeah.
of, and to be healthy, to stay healthy. And
Mhm.
people are on dialysis all their life, and you just see them like, oh man, they have to do this treatment once, two, three times a week, and it's like, oh man, I just couldn't understand. I couldn't live like that. But some people, that's what they have to do. So
Yeah.
it's a serious thing to really try to be healthy, and not get on a trip where you gotta have your be on dialysis. So it is a really, and I commend you, because you're the toughest arm I've got, and you don't play. Oh, you don't play games. It is what it is. You so it's like, it doesn't, and it doesn't make a person weaker. It doesn't make a person weird. It's just something that a person has to do.
Yes. Yes.
You a soldier in that area since I've known you. So, and that's been 40 some odd years. So
Wow.
it's tough. And it's tough.
Wow.
And I salute you for that. I salute you and Archulanda and everybody, because strong people have to go through certain things for them not to go crazy. Some people won't
Yeah.
be able to. Yeah, some people just be like, I don't even want to be on dialysis. I'm gonna just whatever. And but you can't do that. You got to take care of yourself. You got to be healthy. You got to
Yeah.
make it work for you. So
Yeah.
it's a real big thing.
Well, it's a hard pill to swallow, and it's not easy. You know what I mean? You got to do what you got to do. If you want to live and you want to see your family and you want to do well, you have to follow the instructions of this thing, follow the rules of this thing, and even teach your family about this thing, your cousin, your aunt, your nephew, your family members. I have to put it all out there, because I want the people to understand it and take it serious. You don't just
Absolutely.
write a book for your health or do a show for your health. You could be on a vacation or doing something else, or let somebody give it to somebody else to do. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Naka was a leader and a strong person in her own right.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody get dialysis or don't want to deal with it, and some people walk away from it. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? So, I could say we were all soldiers in that right. You know what I'm saying? In the jail system, have you ever ran into any dialysis patient or cancer patients?
Yeah, I've actually it was when I was working in another department. That department deals more of the inmates than the new commits, which we call those guys new commits that come in. I actually had to take somebody for their dialysis run. So even though he was in jail, we drove to the hospital. You know, I stood outside the room while he was you know, going through all his that he was going through, and then when we finished, we went back to the jail. And he did that at least 2-3 times a week. So it's really, especially if you're incarcerated, it's really, really tough to take care because sometimes you have, you know, you're not getting the medical that you're supposed to get, that you would get if you was a free man, if you was outside and you can do it on your own. So sometimes you don't get your medicine at the right time that you know you're supposed to take it. So it is really when people have to go outside of the jail to get their treatments and we, you know, we have people that come in and do x-rays, and I mean we have our medical staff is really good. The sheriff is really good at making sure if somebody is sick that we want to make sure that person gets gets taken care of with no problem, because we don't want nobody getting hurt. We want you to leave the same way you came, if not better.
Yep.
Yeah.
You ain't never lied.
Yeah.
That's so true. I mean,
yeah.
I've known people who was incarcerated that had to get dialysis, and sometimes they had to keep them in a certain population, you know, different from the other ones because they were so scared that they would get hurt or you know, get sick or catch something because they were on dialysis, you know. So you know, I've been trying to get in there to do some teaching in some of the prisons and stuff. And I've been in some and did different things, but I'm trying to do that like on a regular to educate them on that and about that. So they had stopped the program before we can really get in. But I'm glad that y'all took notice, that saw how serious it was, make sure the person was all right, and notice that they don't always get their medicine. That's a very good observation. I ain't mad at you, Sheriff. Come on here. You know? That's all right. That's all right, you know. Oh boy. Now okay, so you relocated. You're happy. You know, how does your faith play a part in your life? You'd say your faith. I know your upbringing was, you know, deep in faith and everything. How would you say that part in your life, sweetie?
I would say my faith has probably gotten stronger in the sense of, you know, when I was young and you know, we all was born and raised in church, and we all had choir rehearsal and all night prayer, and it was when we was younger, it was things that we were like we had to do because our mom was like, you come into church with me every Sunday no matter what. But once I get older and once I realized I started taking care of my mom, it was like I started looking at at her faith. And her faith was amazing. So I looked at it like, this lady who is sick and who is not the same lady that she used to be still has enough faith for both of us. So I'm like, you know what? If that doesn't show me, or if that doesn't give me an example on how I should have my faith, then I'm doing something wrong. So it definitely tightened up a lot once I realized I had to pray with my mom and read scriptures with my mom, and you know, things that she instilled in me when I was young. And then once I'm older, I'm still doing it. I'm doing it with her now. So, you know, it made it very, very good that she instilled that me in a young age.
Wow. That's powerful, and that's so important. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get those deep roots in there. That's very important. I mean, she did the salvation prayer with me when I was 12 years old. You know what I mean? Now, she was a prankster and a jokester, but she could preach, and she had a healing ministry than none other. You know what I mean? A very good healing ministry. And I mean, whew, She's been
Yeah,
a bishop and everything from the upstate sector, and oh man, an evangelist. And you know, her and your father used to go around. Forget about it. They
yeah.
were a force to be reckoned with. And look, they done raised a little somebody, huh? How
I
about that? You
I used
know?
I used to have to always sing for her when she went to her appointments when I was young. I used to be like, I don't want to go and sing today. I don't. You better go sing. I had to go sing a song, and my father would practice with me on the song that we would sing, and I would sing it. She'd go up there and preach, and we was a a duo, the dynamic duo.
That's right. That's right. And yeah, and I remember you singing that song too. It was playing around in my head. Don't get me started. But that's
Yeah,
wonderful. And that's you gotta these are the things that get you through and get you over when you're sick yourself or when you're dealing with a population that's sick. You
yeah,
know what I mean? That's what pushes you to do the things you do and have to do. And
yeah,
it makes you more empathetic and sympathetic and more concerned about others. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Absolutely.
If you have to say something to anybody out there as far as maybe they want to go into the same field you're dealing with, maybe they thinking about it, even maybe relocation. What
Mhm.
advice would you give a relocator or a person wanting to go into your type of profession, sweetie?
Well, I would tell them, never be afraid of change. Change is always, it could be a good thing, it could be a eye opener, it can place you on some, it can place you somewhere that you would never thought you would be. It can make you better. So don't, if you gotta get up and move from New York to Richmond, or New York to Florida, or wherever the Lord is trying to take you to tell you take you to go, you need to accept it and don't be afraid of it. And as far as law enforcement, I would tell you, um, if you wanted to get involved in law enforcement, you should definitely have an open mind. You should definitely realize that everybody that goes to jail is not a criminal. Everybody that goes to jail is not a hardcore murderer. So you have to treat everybody the same way you would want to be treated if you was in that position, because
Mm.
it's just as easy as it is for me to fingerprint somebody. I can be on the other side of that same spectrum getting fingerprinted. And if I was nasty and horrible to you, that same energy is going to come back to me. So you definitely don't want to treat people like they are criminals, or treat them bad, or talk nasty to them, because you don't know what's going on in anybody's life. And you don't know what that person. So, it could be something as small as trespassing, but you don't treat him like, hey, I don't want nothing to do with you. You're a horrible person. No, you treat that same person with respect, because at the end of the day, it's how you wanted to be treated.
Mm. I don't like people to treat me nasty. I remember a social worker treated me nasty when I was younger, and I said, God, please don't let me come back here for any type of help or any kind of thing. I think it was public assistance. They never gave me any money or anything. I ended up with jobs ever since. But when I went in there, she treated me like a dog, like a piece of paper. I felt like dirt. And I promised myself I would never be a social worker like that. In my 24 years, I haven't. And I always tell my clients to check me, or if I always give them my symptoms if I'm having a crazy day or why I'm quiet or whatever or not talking, so I don't bite anybody's head off. Sometimes you got to deal within yourself. You didn't get enough sleep, you ain't ate, whatever. But you got to know how to deal with people. And that, if you had to give a shout out to anybody on tonight or whoever, whether it's a group or one person or a few people, tell us what it is before I end the show. And Mr. Belcher will be on with his show at 9 o'clock after myself.
Well, I would definitely want to give a shout out to my wife and my daughter, who pretty much held me down the entire time my mom was sick. They understood, and they was right next to me. They was right by my side. So definitely give a big shout out to my wife and my daughter. Want to give a shout out to my family, you, Ja, Shauna, everybody who pretty much kept me sane, because it was I could have went left and just lost my mind. But my friends, I mean, to this day, my friends still don't let me alone. Somebody comes to my house every day to check on me to make sure I'm doing all right. So I definitely want to shout all of my friends and my family, and again, it's great that you can have friendship and family and people to look out for you, because again, they don't know, they can just imagine what I'm going through, but they made sure that I wasn't gonna go through it alone. So shout out to all my family and my friends in Richmond and New York. Um, you know, everything, and people came down to visit my mom, Shane and Tim and Mookie calling me, giving me some advice and things to do. So all that, and all those people, I want to shout out and thank them for, because it really helped.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. It's not easy losing a parent, especially when it's real fresh.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't want to bother you the 3 times I was supposed to get you on the show. But I'm glad you came, and I'm glad you told your story, because I know somebody out there heard it, somebody out there felt it, and somebody out there learned from it.
Absolutely.
I'm very proud of you. You keep doing what you're doing. I always will be behind you, got your back. We all will, and I love you to the moon and back. Keep doing what you're doing. I got my eye on you. All right? All right. So I say I love you, and good night, and thank you again for what you're doing, and continue to serve the community, and continue to relax and get some rest at the same time. A sheriff got to get some sleep sometime, and some rest, and some vacation or something. Okay.
I love you too.
All right now. Thank you. Well, you guys have heard it. You've heard it. I'll drink to it, even with water. Well, with water, because I don't drink. But thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening in. Thank you for praying for a sister. And thank you just for being there. We appreciate you at Urban Health Outreach Media Facebook page. We love on you, and we pray for you. Enjoy your night. Peace. Thank you.
Y'all ready for this? Yeah. Y'all ready for this? Yeah.
This is the Lisa Baxter Show, giving you the 411 and the kid me one. My girl, and say